Thank you, Avinash. Here's what's happening in the region. A judge in Venezuela has announced that imprisoned lawmaker Juan Requesens will face trial for allegedly trying to kill President Nicolas Maduro in 2018. The 30-year-old was arrested 3 days after a drone carrying explosives blew up at a military parade attended by Mr. Maduro on August 4th. President Maduro was not hurt in the attack. The opposition politician, who denies the charges, could face 30 years in prison if found guilty, the BBC reported. He faces 2 charges of attempted murder. He also has been accused of terrorism, treason, public incitement, illegal possession of a firearm, and conspiracy to commit a crime. Negotiations have commenced between the governments of Barbados and Antigua and Barbuda over the takeover of Barbados' majority ownership of island-hopping airline Liat. Barbados today reported that teams from both countries met at the Hilton Hotel to begin talks a week after Barbados' Attorney General Dale Marshall revealed he had tried unsuccessfully to arrange a previous meeting with Liat officials to discuss the details surrounding selling its 49.4% stake to the Gaston Brown administration. Prime Minister of Barbados Mia Mottley recently announced government's plans to sell its majority ownership to the second highest shareholder. The Antiguan government holds a 34% stake in the carrier, which serves 15 Caribbean destinations with almost 500 flights. Internationally, a fire aboard a Russian Navy research submersible has killed 14 crew members, the Russian Defense Ministry says. The crew were poisoned by fumes as the vessel was taking measurements in Russian territorial waters on Monday, the BBC reported. The ministry gave no details about the type of vessel, but Russian media reports say it was a nuclear mini-submarine used for special operations. The fire was later put out and the vessel is now at the main base of the Russian Northern Fleet. An investigation into the incident has begun under the commander-in-chief of the Navy. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday pulled out of a scheduled event in the northwest of Moscow to discuss the incident with the defense minister. China has accused protesters who vandalized Hong Kong's parliament on Monday of serious illegal actions that trample on the rule of law. A group of activists occupied the Legislative Council building for several hours after breaking away from a peaceful protest, the BBC reported. Hundreds of police used tear gas to disperse demonstrators. The Chinese government urged the city to investigate the criminal responsibility of violent offenders. Hong Kong, a former British colony, is part of China, but run under a one-country, two-systems arrangement that guarantees it a level of autonomy. Its citizens enjoy rights not seen on the mainland. Monday's disorder followed weeks of mass protests over a controversial extradition bill, which critics have said could be used to send political rebels from Hong Kong to the mainland. Heavy rain has caused at least 18 deaths and triggered massive rail, road, and air transport disruptions in India's financial capital, Mumbai. The victims died when a wall collapsed on them in the early hours of Tuesday after persistent rainfall for 2 days. The victims were mostly laborers working at a construction site in the suburban area of Malad. Authorities said the wall had weakened after several days of rainfall. The BBC reported that authorities have declared a public holiday on Tuesday and have requested people to stay indoors. Met Department officials have confirmed that this is the heaviest rainfall in the city for a decade. Experts have blamed rapid construction and bad urban planning for what many call Mumbai's annual rain chaos. And that brings us to the end of regional and international headlines. Back to you, Avinash.